Let's keep pushing, let's keep going. In this video, I want to talk about scammers and con artists when doing business here in Africa, and how to avoid them, and how to make sure that, all is well on your end. You're not taking advantage of. Because there's something that happens when you're trying to do business in a new market that you've never done business before. There will be people that know that you're a newbie in the market. And of course, if you're a foreigner, they'll know. It's very obvious. Even if you're not a foreigner and you've lived outside of that country for many years and you're returning back to your country, they can sniff you out. By the way, in my videos, I'm not going to do any more editing, so it's going to feel like a live, but it's really not a live. We're just going to keep pushing, okay? I want to give you all this game so you can survive. If you're looking to start a business here in Africa, I want to give you all this game. And this game will work no matter where you go in the world. But specifically here in Africa, I've already tested this game already. How to survive, how to make sure you're not losing out here, you're not catching L's. One of the biggest problems is taking losses. We all take losses. Everybody takes losses. It's all about how many wins you're going to have at the end of the day. All the most successful people that are in business, sports, it doesn't matter. Winners in every niche, in every industry, they're all taking losses. And you never hear about those losses. You only hear about their wins. You don't know how many losses that, what's his name? This Tesla guy. What's his name now? I'm forgetting it. Elon. Elon has probably had a lot of L's, quite a lot of L's. But we all remember his wins. Tesla, SpaceX, X, him buying Twitter, X and everything. That's what we remember. But prior to those ventures, we don't know how many investments he's put in, how many small businesses he's bought into that have all failed. Those guys in venture capital, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They're a bunch of guys who invest in new startups. Now we're going through an AI revolution. And venture capitalists are really, really excited. They're salivating right now. They're buying up all these AI. Any company that mentions AI in it, they're buying it. Even if it's a trash company, because they're trying to hedge their bets. If you buy, let's say, 100 of these startups with like your $1 billion, maybe you're buying one for 2 million, the other one for 5 million, 100 million here. You know what I'm saying? You buy 100 of those. Or maybe you're not even 100. Let's say you buy 20 of those. All you need is one to be successful out of the 20. And it's going to offset all the losses you've taken. What I'm trying to explain to you guys is this. There's no way to avoid scammers and con artists in any market. So avoiding investing here in Africa because you're going to get conned or scammed is not an excuse. Because even in those advanced markets in the United States and Europe, you will get scammed too. But the scamming and the conning is more regulated. And it's under layers of regulation, under layers of law. For example, did you know that if you're a homeowner in the United States, in certain parts of the United States, not all, certain cities, certain counties, certain states, the HOA, which is a ruling body, I guess, a regulatory body within that neighborhood that you live in, they have more power than you. If they choose to increase their fees, let's say you live in an area where you have to pay HOA fees, and you don't pay those fees, by law, they can take your property. They can confiscate your property that you've already paid up. So they're like the tax man, essentially. I mean, it's bad enough you're getting taxed out of the ass. Now the HOA wants to take you out. That's the giant scam right there. That's the biggest scam I ever heard. This is why anytime I hear somebody talking about they want to invest, money into a home and live in it, I feel sorry for them because I've seen what happens in this game. It's a very cold game. I got a friend of mine, one of my best friends. He's in the mortgage business. And he deals with foreclosures. These are people that can't pay HOA fees, they can't pay taxes. So they get foreclosed on by the bank. The bank comes and snatches away that property. Even after, let's say you owe 500,000 USD on that house, and you're up to like 450,000 paid over the last 15 years. And now you got 50 grand left to pay off that house. You miss those payments, they got to snatch it away. All that equity you put in over 15 years, all that 450K, gone. That's a scam. Personally, when I'm looking to invest in real estate in the United States, I just focus on portfolios. Can I get a little piece of a portfolio? I think it's called RITs, RITs. I'm not quite sure what it stands for. Real estate something. I don't know what the T stands for. If you know what an RIT stands for, comment in the video below here. Yeah, that's what I would prefer. I would recommend you invest maybe a couple of thousand, not too crazy, maybe 5-10 grand, into owning a piece of a bigger property, maybe a building complex, and you have some shares in that building complex. That's the new game, because most of the real estate is being bought up by private equity firms right now. Most people who are millennials, Gen Zers, are not going to own property like that, like what the baby boomers and Gen Xers have done. Millennials and Gen Zers, they're, out of luck right there. They're not going to own anything. But it makes sense to still invest in real estate, but just know which real estate to invest in. So you put maybe 5-10 grand, and then you diversify. Maybe you put some more money into crypto as well. Diversification. Because we've seen what happens when people invest only in one thing. Remember the example that I gave? If you invested 450K and the bank decides overnight that, hey man, we're coming to take your stuff because you haven't paid this tax bill or this HOA, then you lost 450,000. Whereas over, let's say, 10 years, that 450K, you spread it out into different things. You get an RIT here, you get crypto here, you get AI here. Within 10 years, that investment is gonna be good. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket like other generations older than us have done. What I'm trying to say is this: there are scams everywhere. But here in Africa, the difference is the people that are going to scam you are not the people that you think are going to scam you. It's not to say they're not scammers or con artists. They are everywhere, like I said. But the kind of scamming and con artistry here is petty. For example, you get a Mzungu price on certain things if you go to certain places. Mzungu essentially stands for a white person, because they look at you, if you're coming from abroad or if you're a foreigner, they just look at you all the same, like a white person, like you got a lot of money. So whatever they're charging the Europeans, the Americans, the white people, that's exactly what they're going to charge you. The price of everything is going to be a little bit inflated for you if you're coming into this market from abroad, bringing foreign money. So yeah, For the most part, the longer you are on the continent, you will start to identify things that are what the true cost is for certain things, and you start to purchase those things at market rate, at the rate that everybody else purchases them for. Building material, cement, bricks, if you're into building something. So eventually you get the real prices of everything after a while. 6 months tops. You know everything. What I've noticed, most of the scamming, and by the way, before I tell you what I've noticed as well, when you're getting scammed like that, yeah, it sucks initially, but you have to look at it this way. Some of these people that are scamming you and conning you, they're not doing it intentionally most of the time. They're doing it because they feel too comfortable to ask you for a better rate so they can survive. It's just pure survival. Because there's no real set rate of anything. So everything is kind of fluid. And if somebody can get away with overcharging you for something, they will do that. Even if they're not a bad person. And if you say, hey, last week you sold me this bag of oranges for $10, which is not the case, by the way. But I learned that your neighbor down the street over here, there's somebody down the street over there that is selling these oranges for $8. I want to buy your oranges for $8. They'll say, yeah. They'll be like, no problem. Because things are a little bit fluid, is what I'm trying to say. Survival. Because everybody has a hustle. Everybody got to eat. What I've noticed now, most of the scamming comes from people that are closest to you, people that you call family and friends, unfortunately. This is the sad reality of it. It is what it is, but it's the truth. Most of the people that you call friends, family, even buddies like this, maybe even like somebody you went to high school with, a friend, you're close to them. So you feel more comfortable sharing up on all this opportunity. So maybe your in-law, let's say brother-in-law, is into building stuff. I don't know. Maybe they're a bricklayer, and they're based out of there in whatever country you're looking to invest in. Maybe you've never really worked with this person before, so you say, let me give him a shot. Let me give him a chance. And this has happened to so many people. So many people. I got countless stories of people that have been scammed by family this way and friends this way. So you've never seen them working before, and you want to give them a chance because it's all out of love. It's all out of love. You want to spread the wealth. That's why you messed up. When you try and do it out of love, that's when you get scammed now. Because your guard is down. It's family after all. It's friends after all. We're related. We're in-laws after all. It's not until they snake you. And they will snake you. You will be snaked. And when you do get snaked, don't take it personally. The problem is a lot of people take this too personally. I never took it personally, ever. Anytime I get scammed, I never take it personally. I take it as a learning lesson. I'm like, thank you for showing me who you really are. You scammed me for 50 bags of cement. That's good riddance. That means you've messed up your blessings for 50 bags of cement. I'll catch the L. I'll take the L. But let's see how many L's you got to take after this. Once I cut you off. That's really how you got to look at it. When you want to work with people that are close to you, like family and friends, don't start off by giving them projects that are too big. Test them first. especially if you're trying to do something out of love. Give them a small test and let them graduate slowly. The problem is, like, we want to give them too much they've never handled. That in-law of yours, he's probably never built a whole house. Maybe he was part of a crew that was putting up bricks. And he just says, yo, I'm the number one bricklayer out here because he wants to get your money. But he's never put up a whole house by himself or been a contractor. He doesn't even know how to do contracting. So that means he doesn't even know how to calculate how much cement is needed, how many bricks are needed. So he ends up probably ordering too much or too little, or getting scammed by somebody else on the price of cement because he's not experienced. So while he or she might mean well, if they're not experienced, they're going to come off as incompetent. And they're going to come off as the scammer, even though they got scammed out of the bag of cement, the price of cement, because they don't know what the real price is. You follow what I'm trying to say? That's how the game goes. So give them little tasks. Test them out first. But like, okay, cool. I need you to go and buy 10 bags of cement for me and just drop them off at my building site. And tell me how much those bags of cement were. And they'll tell you. They'll probably do the job. Go buy the bags of cement. They'll give you what the price is. And be like, okay, thank you. Give me a few weeks, and then I'll give you another task. Sure enough, in a few weeks, they'll be ready. But then, in the meantime, in those few weeks, you're calling up other people. But like, hey, listen, I need 10 bags of cement. Can you deliver? What's the price? Do it yourself. If the price is different from what that person purchased the first 10 bags, then you know you're getting scammed. You always got to be testing people. You always got to be testing people. At the end of the day, it's your money that you're investing. It's your money. I'm not saying you should not give out opportunities. You should. But you need to know how to move out here. You need to know exactly how to test people to make sure they're legit. Just because somebody says they love you or you've got a history together doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean anything. People will switch up. People have a very dysfunctional relationship with money. Most people have a very dysfunctional relationship with money. So they will snake you over a little bit of change. You'll be surprised, like, there are people that I had to cut off because they're trying to play games over like 10, 20 bucks. I'm like, what? Bro, do you realize, like, you just cut your blessings off for 20 bucks? $20? Yeah. People are dysfunctional when it comes to money. The relationship they have with money is very dysfunctional. And they don't know how to act. They get emotionally attached to money. They don't understand what money is. So they have a scarcity mindset. They think that, okay, let me just get what I can get from you now. And they completely forget what's coming, that 5 years is going to come. 3 years is going to come. 10 years is going to come. And you're going to need that person again. Especially in this, continent of Africa, where a lot of people live hand to mouth. It's a hand-to-mouth existence. It is what it is. It's a cold game. But it doesn't mean everybody's like that, though. Because there's so many other professionals here that you can do business with. If you come over here and you meet the right people, the right vendors, by going to the proper professionals, builders, architects, and all that stuff, you get next-level professional work. Next level. I've seen some building projects, projects pretty much. Not project housing in America, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about building projects, houses being built here, estates being built here. And the quality is no different from what I see in Europe, US, Australia. There's no difference. If you want a house that has fancy gadgets, you can get that because everything is being produced in China anyway. So they can ship it and import it here to Africa. And you'll be living just like somebody in the UK, somebody in America. If your money is right, if you know how to build right, If you get the right vendors, the right architects and stuff. So the people to work with that are professional are there, that can deliver value, but you always have to have that balance. Yes, you want to feed your people and everything. You want to give your people opportunity, but also have professionals. So you're not scammed out here. Because I'm telling you, the biggest scams, strangers will scam you petty, but people that are close to you will scam you, they'll spam you. They'll spam you too, but they will scam you 10 times more than strangers. So just be careful. Just be on the lookout for that. There's one other test you need to start deploying, and this tactic works everywhere. It works no matter what venture you're into, it works. In fact, this strategy works specifically when you're dealing with big deals. Because here in Africa, when you're doing business, right, there are levels to the game. You can be in like low level, then mid level, then you're dealing with like hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even millions of dollars. When you're getting to like dealing with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, now it's the game has changed now. The game is completely changed. You can't move the same way that you were moving when you're dealing with like hundreds of dollars. You gotta move different when the numbers reach like, 2 commas. You gotta move completely differently. Because once somebody knows that you're onto a contract that is like 6 figures here in Africa, or even $1 million, whatever, you become a target. You become a complete target. Everybody wants to be a buddy. Everybody wants to be a friend. Because they know you got it. They know you're winning out here. So everybody, oh, you're my friend. Oh, my friend so-and-so. And your phone will be blowing up. So you got to move different. You can't be seen everywhere like that. You can't be. Even like the way you pull up. If you like these fancy cars, once you start making real money, like, I would even say, do not be too flashy like that. Because you're just signaling to everybody that, hey, come take advantage of me. Being too flashy is a lot of people's downfall here. If you have money, people are always going to know you got money. They can just look at you and be like, okay, there's money right here. So you don't need to constantly be out there showing how much money you got. It's not good. So also when you're negotiating, when you're trying to do these partnerships, because when you get to a certain level, you might want to start doing partnerships. So let's say you're building a school, maybe you're building a chain of restaurants. I don't know, something that requires a lot of money, and something that also requires you to partner up with certain people. One of the things that I like to do is to meet the family of whoever I'm partnering up with. That will tell you a lot. The way people do business at those levels is quite different. Because by you meeting that person's family, you really get to see what kind of character you're dealing with. If that person's family or family dynamic is quite chaotic, don't do business with that person. Personally, I like to do partnerships with people that are already married, that got kids. If you're married, you got kids, and I've met your family, and we've had dinner like a couple of times, 2-3 times, with my wife as well included, then we're doing business. Then we're doing a partnership. But besides that, no. I don't want to set myself up like that. Because there's something about A chaotic home, that'll mess up the money. If somebody is in a chaotic marriage, chaotic relationship, they might not have to be married, okay? They might be in a relationship, but if their relationship is chaotic, the marriage is chaotic, there's no peace in that home. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time until that peace gets in the way of money and the business. It's only a matter of time. And I've seen it too many times. And this game is fail-proof. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be in the Middle East. You can be in Europe. If you're dealing at those levels, you have to. You have to initiate that family, meeting. Whether it's in a restaurant, maybe you invite them to your home. You do a dinner, you sit down, chit-chat. Talk about everything but the deal. Just because what you're doing is you're trying to figure out what kind of person are you going to be dealing with here. Is this a person that's going to be reliable for at least 2-3 years, 5 years, while this deal is in place? Because there are millions of dollars here. There's a lot of money at stake. Can I rely on this person? They're not going to flip out on me because maybe all of a sudden things are not good back home. Cause chaos. Then we lose the deal. I'm telling you, it's a different game. I hope you guys got some value from this video. If you're ready to work with the best and you need some coaching. If you're starting your business here in Africa and you're trying to figure out what niche to get into, how to set it all up, how to build your network, I'm your guy. Maybe you're already in business here in Africa and you're trying to figure out how to get to the next level. You're making some money. Okay, I see you're making some money, but you want to take that thing to the next level. Now you're ready. Oh, you're ready. Then we need to talk. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Schedule some time. This will be a paid consultation. If you want the free game, you just watch the videos. But we're going to talk. It's a paid consultation. I'll put a link, schedule some time. We'll do a consultation call. We're going to talk about how to get you to the next level. Because there's certain things you need to put in place. Certain principles you need to learn. And you need a coach for that. Schedule time. No time wasters. Talk to you soon. Bless.